does that mean they are going to be less human because they don't tap into the AI? So that's a value statement, and that value statement is based on morals, and I think the driver of that morality is evil.
Mm.
I think, which is why I personally believe, when I say earlier on that my people are going to be the leaders of this century, hopefully the indigenous value will have a relationship with the artificial intelligence community, which I do know in some circles is happening. But I also think the priorities of the indigenous world that connect to real-time space, to land, to forest, to seas, to rivers, to what it actually truly means to be human, to live on the earth, those values, I think, are going to be key leadership drivers to lead an alternative vision to, I think, an AI that will be driven by evil.
Wow. That's fascinating.
Now, I'm just sharing with you, and I'm exposing my assumptions and having this conversation with you.
Yeah.
And there might be listeners that are going, "Oh, that guy doesn't know anything," and they'll be right. However, I'm a human, you're a human. We live in 2025 where we have to engage with this on any front, but the majority of humanity are just sucking it up, just receiving it. And that's what the drivers of AI want.
Yeah.
They just want us to not ask questions and just participate. Shut the F up, buy your cell phone, and engage on the internet.
Yeah. I think that is changing massively, not just
Right.
the indigenous people, but I think there is a huge pushback on governments that they're hiding things, that we shouldn't trust them. The systems are not adequate. People are not being served by these systems. No one can afford a home. Why should we participate in this economic system? If you look at the way that we want to get to net zero by 2050, everyone's like, oh, we got to save the planet and we got to do net 50. But it seems to be more of an economic push. It's like, if we invest into this, then, everybody, it becomes an economy, and then we can trade off it. And if you think about New Zealand taxpayers, we're going to be paying $3 trillion by 2050 to get to net zero. Right. How do we get a return on that?
Right.
We're just going to destroy and get an entire system of what we call as in New Zealand and government completely bankrupt. There's no return on that.
Right.
Wow. We may end up back into this. This evil destroys itself, and then we all end up into finding who's got the hunter-gatherer skills and the knowledge and the visions, and be like, hey man, let's do a hungy because I'm fucking hungry.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So it feels like that in many ways. But it's like there's a lot of big events happening at the same time. Yeah. The disclosure, these all disclosures, right? It's like of evils,
right?
Brutality, this creation of artificial intelligence. It's the whole thing about immortality, the technology, the distractions, the media, the rise of podcasting. As people wanting more information about what is it that they're experiencing, why are they here? What is going on? Because every human has 1 in 400 million chance to be born, right?
Wow.
And
400 million
chance to be born, like how you are with all the characteristics that you have, right? So that is really a fascinating point to be in this Christmas time.
Look, I worried. Well, I think I'm not the only one, but I think many people worried when say, at the inauguration of Donald Trump, and you saw Zuckerberg and Bezos and Musk and I forget who the other fellow was, on the podium. In other words, you've got, all these giant AI tech companies that are at the inauguration of the current president, and you like, that's an alarm bell loud and clear to think that, okay, here is the current president sitting, and then you've got the basically the ones who run all this stuff. They're there supporting this, and my take on that and my grief on that as a president who proclaims to be a Christian, and out of his mouth says some, if I remove him and just read some of the things that he says out of his mouth, that I go, okay, that's what you might hear on a Sunday in church, but then it devastates you because it's coming out of his mouth. And he's not backing it up with his actual life. He does not live the humility of the Christ that he talks about.
Yeah.
He does not live the values of loving the creation of the Creator that he proposes to speak about.
Yeah. I guess the counter argument I want to make to that is that the previous lot were absolute bonkers. They were way off in terms of where Christianity was.
The problem is that it doesn't matter whether it's Trump or Biden. It doesn't matter who the next ones will be.
Yeah.
The Trump and the Bidens of the world, the Luxons and the Hipkins of the world, they're living and they're functioning in a world that essentially doesn't exist anymore, and the tech guys know it.
Right. I think the most powerful
these
guy.
Dudes don't give these presidents, and therefore the governments that we think are in control. Those four dudes on the stage know that they're not.
Yeah.
They know who are in control.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah. And this is where it gets interesting, because
technology is in control.
Yeah, but hold on. Listen to this. This is where this gets interesting. The whole guy in the space that was very interesting to watch was Charlie Kirk.
Why is that?
Because he was very Christian. He was very close to Christ and Christianity. He controlled every single young American voter in the country.
Everyone, or every confessing Christian one, or
I think most young people listen to him.
Okay, right.
Right.
Like for or against?
For.
Okay.
And he was the future in a way in terms of where America was going in this Christian path.
Yeah.
Right. And then someone killed him.
Yeah.
Why did they kill him?
Why?
I don't know. It could be some angry young kid that was distracted by technology, and he was, he felt that this guy was bad against saying bad things against groups like transgender groups and rainbow community. Or it could be something more evil, like the tech guys thinking maybe this guy's going to be in control in the future and he's going to become the president, and then he's going to push America into more of a Christianity path. So it could be anything.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it very fascinating.
Yeah. Man, look, a couple of sacred scriptures, texts that come to mind from St. Paul. The only thing that matters or counts is faith expressing itself through love. And as Christians, we're called to speak the truth in love. And I don't, obviously never met Charlie Kirk. I really didn't listen to much of him either until after he died, and had a little quick squint and really I asked my children about them, about Charlie Kirk, and they had opinions on Charlie Kirk. But as a Christian, like, truth can be a blunt instrument, right? But the follower of Christ is supposed to speak